Hello and welcome to Trash into TREASoURcE podcast series on resource-wise and circular ways to make decisions in our everyday life. My name is Ann-Kristi Richkoff. I'm coming from Click Innovation and I will be your host today. In this episode, we will be focusing on circular solutions for biowaste, how to reduce biowaste, how to reuse it, and how to turn it into something of value instead of letting it go to waste. Joining with me here in the studio, we have 3 experts in the biowaste area, and they have a lot of very, very interesting insights. And our experts are from Finland and Norway. So we will also have this kind of discussion that do we have similar systems or similar insights, or do we have differences in different Scandinavian countries? So I welcome you very warmly to this podcast series. So we have Nora Berglund from the Central Union of Agriculture and Forest Owners from Finland. We have Jaana Koivisto from EcoFellows. You're coming from Tampere, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then we have Magdalena Edvardsen from Fredrikstad Municipality, Norway.
Hello.
You're warmly welcomed here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we can start with some brief introductions. If you could tell a little bit of yourself and why this biowaste is near to your heart. What are you doing in your job with the biowaste, or what was the driver to took you into this subject? So if we start with you, Nora.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Nora Berglund, and like you mentioned, I work for the Association of Farmers and Forest Owners, and my own background is in agricultural and environmental science. So I've studied agroecology at the University of Helsinki, which is basically based on circularity in general in the primary production, which is perhaps most linked to my heart. So I look at the perspective of biowaste and byproducts and side streams, mainly from the agricultural perspective. But now I've worked for almost 3 years in the TREASoURcE project with bio-based issues.
Very interesting. What about you, Jaana?
Yes, I'm Jaana Koivisto and I'm working in EcoFellows. And my background is from social science. And after I have worked quite many years with the social sciences, I started to study bioeconomy development. And I graduated in 2022. And shortly after that, I started in the TREASoURcE project. And now I have worked with municipalities and farmers in the Pirkanmaa region, and I have helped them to develop local bioeconomy models.
So what about you, Magdalena? You're coming from Norway.
Thank you very much for having me here. Hello, everyone. My name is Magdalena Edvardsen, and yes, I work as special advisor in Fredrikstad Municipality. But I am actually Polish, so don't be confused with the accent. I am biologist in my background, and in Fredrikstad Municipality, I develop, I test, and I enable new concept called rural-urban symbiosis. It's a collaboration between cities and countrysides, mostly about biogas production, but also different ways of recovery the biowaste.
Okay, so we have a very nice setup here now because you are coming from different perspectives and you have different angles, and I'm really looking forward to very, very interesting and inspiring discussion on the biowaste. So if we start with something which comes very near to us consumers and consumers' point of view. So Nora, I think that this is something you have been worked quite a lot. So how do we as consumers generate biowaste, and why should we actually even care that we are generating biowaste?
Well, I think when we talk about biowaste, it means organic resources that are not fully utilized itself or in the main product. So basically, our bio-based products become waste if there's no use for it. And it doesn't mean that they're worthless. They're resources waiting to be used. And in our daily lives, these could be bio-waste from our households, banana peels, apple peels, and so on, garden waste from our gardens, municipal waste, compost, or toilet waste, which is something we might not always think, but is generated to large volumes. And consumers should care because these streams are valuable resources as they are, and when they're recycled efficiently, they can replace fossil fuels, for example, by being converted into biogas or other biofuels, biodiesel, and so on.
Okay, what should we do as consumers? Because we are producing, when we make food or something, we generate biowaste quite a lot. And what can we do with this?
Well, the first thing is to recycle the generated biowaste. And already before that, we should aim to produce as little of biowaste as possible. We should utilize the products that we purchase or produce as efficiently as possible. So minimize first the waste amounts, and then when it is generated, we should just recycle it, not to put it into the mixed waste, but to recycle it as biowaste, because that can be utilized in several ways, the energy and nutrients in it.
So are we enough aware of our possibilities as a consumers?
I think that many of us are, but we still have some work to do to recycle more efficiently. So we really should consider at our own homes where we put the waste. And do we actually separate the waste? Not to put it all into mixed waste, but we have different waste streams, glass, metal, and biowaste, which are as important all to separate.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. Jaana, if I bring you here now and for those consumers who wants to make a better choices, can they actually influence on that by deciding what they buy and how much they buy and that they are really aware of that how they can recycle in the correct way their bio-waste, what they have been generated in their households?
Yes, the first thing when in talking about circular economy is to think the minimizing, as Nora already mentioned. Consumers should try to avoid food waste and buy only what they need. But there will still always be organic waste, for example, from vegetable peelings and the parts from vegetable that are not be used in making food. Also, when consumers buy food, it's important, of course, to consider the packaging. It's good to avoid the thing that might be called a little bit overpackaged products. But when you have the bio-waste, it's important to sort it. And putting the bio-waste to the mixed waste makes the mixed waste wet. And when the mixed waste usually is burned, it makes the burning process a little bit bad. On the other hand, you should not burn the bio-waste, but when you recycle it properly, it's a good source to use again, or for example, as renewable energy and also as a fertilizer.
Mm. So it's all about the habits, what we have as a consumers, and sometimes we are not in our comfort zone, so to say. So any tips for us that to make this sorting and recycling more convenient for us and also motivate us as a consumers to do it?
Well, you should think about your kitchen. Where have you organized your recycling? What kind of waste bins do you have in your kitchen? For example, in my kitchen, I have a well-sealed organic waste bin in the rubbish cupboard. It's next to the mixed waste bin, and it's a little bit easier to recycle. And it's sometimes also for consumers difficult to know what to put in your bio-waste, as the rules vary slightly depending on where do you live. So you should take the time to find out the rules where you live. They can be found in your building association's information or the website of your local waste management company. And it's very important information.
Okay, so I would like to turn to Magdalena now, because you are from Norway, and actually you have origins from Poland. Is there any differences if you think about the situation in Poland or in Norway?
Yes, there are many differences, especially on the level of separating the food waste in the households. I have heard that in Poland, although I don't live there in 14 years, but I have heard that there is still a challenge. There are not all areas that separate the food waste. And many areas has to put them in the mixed garbage, the residual waste, which goes to burning. And as Jaana said, it's not the best idea, especially when it comes to biowaste, because it still releases the carbon dioxide and other pollutants which may be which can harm our lungs and reduces the air quality, of course. So it's completely different case on biowaste, how to make a value of them. And in Norway, we have about 50 biogas plants. The tradition of producing biogas from biowaste is quite long in Norway. So it's on a completely different level. And I know in Poland, for example, the challenge is in the Horeca, stream, waste stream. Horeca stands for hotel, restaurants and catering. Yeah. I think it's the same in Finland, right? Yes. Yes. So these are the challenges there.
Yeah, it's funny because I've spent quite a lot of time in Madeira in Portugal, and actually they have very, very good recycling systems for plastic, for cans and metals, but the bio-waste goes to the mixed waste always, so they don't have any separate systems for the bio-waste. Yeah, Nora, please.
Yeah, if I may add, I think that in Finland, the recycling rate for biowaste is 42%, which in my opinion is quite low compared to the possibilities that we actually do have biowaste containers in the households in most areas. Not everywhere, but in most areas.
Yeah.
Can I comment on that? Because I work in a municipality, so this is quite close subject to me. In Fredrikstad Municipality, we introduced a separate bin for food waste collection not so long time ago. And even the new system in place, there are still 30% of food waste mixed in the residual waste. And it's only 10% drop from the situation before we introduced the bin for separate food waste. So 10% drop, it's actually very surprising. And we believe it's this behavioral gap we have in Fredrikstad still. And maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a confusion that the inhabitants has some confusion where to put the food waste. And maybe they don't know that how much does it matter. And maybe they believe that all waste go to the same place, like to incineration, but it's not the case about biowaste. It's actually not allowed to burn food waste in Norway. Okay. You have to put them either in the biogas production or composting.
It's very interesting. And I also think that biowaste is a material for something new products or valuables. And maybe this is something what people don't actually realize, that you have a sort of really trash in, you can really move the trash into treasure in that sense. But Jaana, you want to continue on this?
Yes, because I think the same. When you compost your biowaste yourself, you can see that it's resulting to the soil that you can use and grow, for example, new vegetables. But when some big truck comes to collect your biowaste, you actually don't see what it can be used as. So we should think that usually this truck itself runs on biogas, and also, again, local waste management company can tell you what they do with the collected biowaste. And it can be used renewable energy and also as a fertilizer. And it's very important for people to know it.
Or even to some new materials for products. So I would also like to ask a little about this burning of biowaste. I think, Magdalena, you are expert in that area. There's sort of a common confusion because people think that it's very valuable to burn it. But is that really like that? Or should we first do something else and go along this cascading principle? How do you feel?
Yes, this is a very important point to dig into, because the idea of burning biowaste may sound appealing for at first, but people often see burning of waste like a good way to get to rid of the waste and maybe generating energy. But in the case of biowaste, it's not the same situation. It's like we mentioned already that burning biowaste is actually missed opportunity to put them into the value and to recover this material in better way. And we mentioned a lot of alternatives, what we can do with biowaste, and it's biogas has been mentioned many times, and composting. But I want to name also the biochar. This is a kind of charcoal that is made from plant waste, and it's burnt in very high temperature without oxygen. And it's actually, it helps trap carbon and improve soil quality. So it's a quite innovative way to make a value of biowaste. But I want to just mention that we need to shift our mindset from waste management only to resource recovery.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, I have some own experience on biochar because our garden is from the former wetlands, and we actually treated the whole garden with the biochar. And actually it works very well. So now it's very, very easy to cultivate things there.
And actually you can use it also if your garden is too dry.
So it has two ways good points. And also you can load it with fertilizers if you want. Nora?
Yes, there are a lot of interesting research on biochar use for agriculture. In Finland, we have several very interesting companies utilizing waste wood for biochar production, which is a great way to recycle the wood and to utilize it all together and to store carbon dioxide at the same time as well.
So just want to ask you that, is there any confused or wrong beliefs from the consumers what comes to the biowaste? We discuss about this incineration and burning, but is there anything else you want to correct here?
The burning issue is something that I run into every now and then. People think that it's all incinerated and that's the best possible way. But as Magdalena told us, we have a lot better possibilities and it's not burned nowadays.
I can also mention that what kind of food waste are collected can be a bit confusing. There is a special instruction on that in our municipality, and sometimes you can be surprised that this is not like cigarettes, for example. We are not collecting cigarettes in the food waste. Or like tea bag we are collecting, but only if they are made from paper, not the nylon one, from another fabric. So I recommend to read carefully this kind of instruction you have in your area, because it can be a bit surprising sometimes.
What about the bones or?
Bones is okay, but not the big one, like from very big animals, how to say. This has to be delivered to the waste management company and separated.
And I think there's also some differences with the napkins. Sometimes they are collected and sometimes not.
Our recommendation is you can collect the napkin if it's some food waste on it, not to throw out the completely dry one, because it's very important when the moisture in the food waste.
Yes.
And also the colorful napkins are okay.
and nowadays we have more of these materials that can actually be composted. And luckily, we actually have better instructions in the products themselves that how to recycle them, and we should all look at them in order to understand, because these also change. Now we have these biodegradable possibilities.
Yeah. And also in Finland, we have not so much biogas plants yet. So maybe that's why people think that we don't have any use for the collected biowaste. But that's a little bit wrong, because when we know that we will have that kind of amount biowaste, then we can invest to more biogas plants. And I think that's also important.
I think that we can now move on to this, because we started already to discuss how to valorize this bio-waste, and biogas is one way to do it. And I would like to start, Magdalena, with you, because most of the people are not really aware that why they should be aware of biogas and why biogas is so relevant for our daily based lives. So can you elaborate a little bit this question?
Yes, it has been mentioned many times, but maybe it needs a bit more explanation what it is exactly, because it may sound like something far off, an industrial bioproduct that is very niche production, but it's actually much closer to us and our homes that we think. So to start from the beginning, what is biogas is a renewable energy source made from organic waste, like food waste, manure, or even the wastewater. And it's a very simple and natural process. The food waste is stored in the biogas plant, and with help of friendly bacteria, it releases a gas called biomethane. And this can be used further to energy. And what is left from the biogas production, called digestate, can be used as a natural fertilizer. So, and why should people care about this? Because, like I said, it's not some project that we have which is very small and maybe will never come to the real use. It's actually in many countries biogas is already used to power homes. Like in Fredrikstad, we use biogas as a bus fuel. All the cars coming to take the food waste are going on biogas. And in farming communities, biogas help to turn animal waste into both energy and fertilizer. And here are we back to what we call this rural-urban symbiosis, because the idea of symbiosis is that food waste to biogas production comes from cities, and from agriculture we are getting like manure or crop residues. And both these things are used in the biogas production, and then farmers are getting back the digestate, which can be used as a soil improvement or natural fertilizer, and cities are getting energy from that.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating in a way. What about, Jaana, biogas compared to other renewable energy sources? What is the difference, or are they complementary? And is biogas more sustainable than, for example, wind power? Or if we want to put biogas onto a map with the sustainable and renewable energy sources, how would you place it?
I would say that all sources of renewable energy are, of course, important, and they are somehow they can be used all together. The advantage of biogas is that it's available all year round. So the availability of wind and solar energy, it depends on weather variations. But biogas is produced from our food waste or agricultural side streams, and they are generally available all the time.
Yeah. So in Finland, what is the role of biogas? Nora, you are working quite a lot with that. So how important it is for us, and what are the business opportunities there?
Well, currently I must say that the role of biogas is not as important as it should, and it's playing an increasingly important role as a sustainable and local energy source. Something that I find important in biogas is that it's a local energy source that also supports the regional economy in both urban and rural areas. Currently in Finland, we produce about 1 terawatt hour of biogas annually, but research has shown us that we could produce over 20 terawatt hours. And this is where the agricultural side streams, such as manure or grasslands, which we have a lot in Finland, and straw, for example, play a key role. So we could utilize these side streams more efficiently. But for that, we need also other incentives for biogas production.
So what are the main barriers that it's not produced or used as much as we actually could?
I would say that they're all financial troubles, and they're very much connected to logistical issues, because we are a big country and we have quite dispersed farm structure throughout the country. But something also very important for us in today's geopolitical situation, it is a crucial source from both the perspective of energy and nutrients to boost our self-sufficiency.
Absolutely. And I think that the whole idea of a circular economy, it's also a tool to overcome these obstacles what this geopolitical situation causes us. Because basically we have to think that how to secure the supply chain.
Exactly.
Because they are broken now.
Exactly. And luckily, this has received more recognition lately, but I think that we need long-term political decisions made for biogas.
Yeah, because energy and also the fertilizers, because it's linked directly to the food production, they are maybe one of the most important issues to take care of.
Yes, very much about the food security, and we talk here mostly about Finland and Norway, but biogas is produced all around the world. I've just learned about Zambian biogas production.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. So, Magdalena, if the consumers would be inspired by what they are hearing today, what can they do? I mean, how can they support the use and the production of biogas?
I actually love this question because these small steps really matters. So first of all, sort food waste. We said this many times, but it's actually still a challenge. So this is the most important thing. Start at home. And be careful what you are putting into food waste. You have to follow the instructions from your waste management provider, because it may vary from the country to country, or even the area in the country. So this is the very important instruction to follow. But I would say for all these areas that don't collect the food waste yet, it may be a good idea to talk about this with politicians or the waste management company, because this public demand really matters and can make a change. So it's can really move things forward. And beyond that, support all policies and projects that has interest in biogas production and want to support the system of food waste collection, for example. Real support, even in the local level, really make a change.
Absolutely. I would like to discuss a little bit about the innovations and, to do biogas or generate biogas from the biowaste, that's of course one of the innovations. But can it also be a sort of raw material to something else, like you mentioned fertilizers, but other chemicals would be used in medical products or whatever. So what do you think?
Yes, certainly can. And this area is researched all the time as it is. And it can be, I think, chemical industry, cosmetics industry, pharmaceuticals, alcohol industry, and so on, which can utilize these streams. And we do have very interesting companies producing or taking these certain biochemicals from biowaste, for example, these vegetable peelings mentioned to produce glue and other chemicals needed by the industries. And this is area which has a lot potential for the future. And it's actually from the primary production perspective that we need these higher value products.
Yeah. Would it be more attractive to consumers to sort and recycle biowaste if they would know that actually their next generation pharmaceuticals can be made out of the biowaste they have been sorted and recycled?
Let's hope so. And I think that, yes, very much. And this is an environmental topic as well. I think we all would rather use bio-based renewable possibilities instead of products made with fossil fuels with certain hazardous compounds.
Yeah. Jaana, many of these biogas initiatives, they go hand in hand with the agriculture. And can we actually support the farmers so that they are managing better while they are doing the agriculture, they are producing food or feed, and also at the same time this biogas? What can we do as a consumers to support them better?
I think that the consumers should think the local cycles more. And the best way to support the local bioeconomy is to buy locally produced food. And when buying it, it allows farmers to continue their businesses and maintains our food and energy self-sufficiency.
Yes, and in case there are no local options available, I think it's very important for all of us to ask for them from the grocery stores in order to get them into our local stores. And we can also lobby for providing local food in our public institutions, such as schools, healthcare institutions, and so on. And these can have a huge effect.
Yeah, the municipalities' procurement processes are also very important.
And we should also understand perhaps the seasonality, at least in our northern countries. We cannot produce everything all year round. So to understand what would be in season each time and how we can support our farmers in that way as well.
I think that we have quite nice examples here in Finland, this ecosystem, which is the sort of fair and just consumption started from a farmer's community, and now you basically can buy directly from the farmers. They deliver every 2 weeks, and you can buy everything. So basically you support them directly because they don't have to go into this retailers and those big shop chains, but sell directly to the consumers.
And nowadays we also have more and more farms who do direct sales from their own property. So we should also look at the possibilities around us.
Yeah.
I found some very interesting areas from not that far away.
Yeah, exactly. What about in Norway? Do you have this kind of systems or?
Yes, of course. We are also focusing on local produced food and supporting farmers, but I think it starts from us. If we demand the tomatoes in winter or stuff like that, it will not change the habit. So I think we have to start from us to be realistic what is available on the market.
And one thing also, if we want to support circular practices and we want to support the use of recycled nutrients as discussed today, then the possibility would be to favor organic production or organic products, because these are produced only with organic fertilizers from recycled origin.
I think that there's one item I would like to raise to this discussion, and that's composting at home. I think that many people are actually very curious about it, and myself, I have quite a lot of experience on that. But Nora, I would like to ask you that what does it actually take to start with composting at your own garden or household? Is it complicated? Are people afraid of it? Or if they are, what are they afraid of it?
This is a nice question. I think that many of us think it's a lot complicated than it is. It's a lot easier than many of us think. Whether you live in an apartment or in your own house, there are good options available. In apartment buildings, you can use compact, these fast-working composters, even indoors. Or if you have a backyard, as I believe you do, yes. You can go for a bigger outdoor composter.
Yes.
So getting started only takes an initial investment, and depending on the size and type of the composter.
Yeah, we actually have at home we have this bokashi system, and then at the garden we have this composters which you can heat it up to 70 degrees or so, and it's very quick to get soil out of them.
Yeah, and it's not really difficult once you get started. But I think the most important thing is to fill the compost regularly and monitor what kind of conditions you have in your compost.
Yeah. So do you have any tips that how people could start, and also what they should be aware of?
Yeah, I actually do the composting. I compost all the biowaste from my household and use it and also the garden waste to produce new soil to grow new vegetables. And I think there are many tips. For example, temperature and also the maintaining of the composting to work well. It's a big question. But as I already mentioned, it should be very regularly filled, the compost, because it's very important. And I have a really small biowaste bin at the house, because then I have to go and put it to the compost very, very often. And I have always some organic waste from cooking. It is yes. Very natural. And in winter, the maintaining of the temperature, it can be a little bit difficult, especially in Finland and also in Norway. But my tip is hot water bottles or canisters to the compost. I put them inside the compost and just under the lid and change it once a day. So it's a way to have it.
And you have to feed it often enough.
Yes.
That's important in the winter time. So Magdalena, do you think that if people are very keen to compost their biowaste, would it actually compete with the biogas production then?
This is actually a very interesting point, because some fun facts from Fredrikstad Municipality. We provided financial support for all people from the municipality who want to compost their biowaste. But this actually has been removed after we introduced the separate bin for collecting the food waste, because municipality chose to get food waste for biogas production and prioritize this way of recycling than composting. So we are not providing this financial support anymore. I don't know how it is in Finland.
I think we actually are not there yet. We don't have so much biogas plants, but I think that this could be also our future. But I think when thinking about the situation today, we should somehow use the biowaste again, so recycle it. So I think the composting is a good way to that, because we don't have so much biogas plants in Finland yet.
Yes, and I think that biogas production is perhaps the more advanced possibility compared to composting, because we can actually take the energy out from the materials. But for example, at my family farm, we don't have a biogas plant, but we can do composting and use it as a fertilizer. So that's what we do, and that's the possibility.
Yeah.
I want to just mention that approximately 85% of biogas production in Fredrikstad Municipality goes to the buses, as a bus fuel, and the rest are used as energy production for our industry symbiosis area that we have in Fredrikstad. So this is interesting, yes.
Yeah. So is there any restrictions concerning of composting? I mean, something that what you have to know before you can start, or legal or other?
Yeah, actually in Finland we do the composting registrations these days. It's new thing, and they can come from the municipalities and check your compost if it's good, proper, if you have done it properly. And I think the most important thing there is to do with the good equipment that the process is going right.
And of course, we can compost household waste quite easily in our households. But when we talk about composting sewage sludge, for example, there we run into more regulation from the EU level as well, and that's more complicated.
Yeah, that's true.
But those are not handled in our households that much.
Okay, I think that we have to little by little start to end and wrap up this episode. Thank you, Nora, Jaana, and Magdalena, very much of this very lively and inspiring discussion. I've learned a lot, and I also hope that our audience have learned a lot and keep on their interested in circulating and sorting biowaste. And before we end, I would like all of you to share one of the key message or takeaway from your side. What do you want to say to people who are listening this podcast? If we start with you, Magdalena.
Yes, I want to start because I want to prioritize to mention that I am fighting with this myth and food waste and mixed waste and all paper and going to the same place. It's not. And bio-waste has very valuable use for us. And I have a question to our audience and to you here. Do you know how far away can a bus drive on one single food waste, like one small bag of food waste that we are collecting in municipality? How far away can a bus drive on that?
No, but I'm looking forward that you are telling us.
Yes, but you can guess, make a guess.
20 kilometers.
Oh, wow. No. It's actually 250 meters for a one, because we are talking about this small bag, you know?
I would have said 400 meters.
Yeah, okay. It's not
near.
that ambitious, but it's still very small bag of food waste, and we are getting 100 of this in our municipality. So this really has an impact on our daily lives, and this biogas is emission-free gas that are very naturally produced. So this is my take-home message.
Okay, Nora.
Well, I guess my take-home message is that waste matters. That's it. We're running out of certain materials, and if we have the possibility to actually reuse the materials that we've already once used, I think that's it. Yes. Waste is great, and
Waste is great.
that was well said. Waste matters and waste is great. Jaana.
I would say that you should all think, what do you eat? As Nora said, you have to somehow think that what is in season and how you can somehow effect on this recycling and what the farmers can do and how this local bioeconomy is going on.
Thank you, Nora, Jaana, and Magdalena, for your insights for today. It was very nice to have you here and to listen all this very lively and inspiring discussion.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I also would like to thank our listeners for tuning in. And I hope that you find this discussion interesting, and also feel free to share it. And stay tuned, because there will be more episodes to come on this circular and resource-wise practices. So until next time, take care and stay tuned.